Chris.
Yes.
I have a question for you. And everyone else out there at 844-204-RICH, number to dial. If you could relive one sports day in your life, what day would that be? And I will give that to you first. What's the one day?
I had a lot of great sports days. You know, just professionally, my teams won a lot in the last 20 years.
Oh, God.
You guys have heard all that.
Sort of like Rich's basketball team.
That's true. Fantasy basketball.
Even college. You know, Syracuse won a national title in 2000.
So you have a lot to choose from.
I have a lot to choose
from.
An
embarrassment of riches.
There was the day I hit 7 threes in a high school game.
Could be that if you'd like.
Which was a school record for a long time.
The Al Bundy of Maine prep.
I even threw a game-winning touchdown pass in overtime once, and I took my helmet off and ran around the field like Brett Favre. But I'm going to choose the most recent of my sports teams' championships. The 4th Boston Red Sox World Series title, October 28th, 2018. Why, might you ask? Well, it was the only one I was in person for.
Okay.
It was out here in Los Angeles, Game 5 on a Sunday. I went to the game, and more importantly, it was who I went with. I went with my longtime friend, one of the first friends when I moved to Maine when I was 12.
Nice.
He was my college roommate. We played sports together in high school. He was my college roommate. And then he was my roommate out here in Los Angeles for 8 years. And so him and I went to the game together, both obviously diehard Red Sox fans. And we watched him win the game. It was awesome. Right down to Chris Sale striking out Manny Machado to end the game. It was fantastic.
The question I have for you, because this is Groundhog Day, and you'd be reliving it over and over and over again.
Yep.
Would you at one point go up, run out on the field, because you know you're going to, it starts from scratch the next day, you're not going to wind up in jail.
Yep.
Would you run out on the field, go up to Mookie Betts, and say to him, you can't leave.
Can't leave.
I know you're looking around here. By the way, this is where you will go to.
Yeah.
You cannot leave no matter what, just in case you do wake up the next day. It is the next day, and you save Mookie Betts from leaving. Would you do something like that?
1,000%. I will probably do that every single time just to really drive home the point. I'll also probably run out into the stands in left field where Steve Pearce's first inning home run lands. I'll probably catch that.
Okay.
I might knowing that Manny Machado is going to swing at such a terrible pitch to end the game, I'll probably rip the ball away from Chris Sale and throw it in the dirt because I know that he's going to swing and miss.
This
he's
guy.
Pretty terrible. So just so I can get the game-winning save, I'll probably do all of those things.
But
yeah,
you'd hope to prevent Mookie from actually staying.
That would
in
probably
Los
be
Angeles.
the most important.
Yeah, I don't think that would help.
Yeah.
I don't think it would stop it. You never know. Good try.
Thanks,
Mike. What's yours? What's yours, Mike?
We actually spoke about mine yesterday. Super Bowl 36. I would love to go back that day when the Patriots and Tom Brady won their first of the many Super Bowls.
Look at you on the left.
And what's great is that
oh my gosh,
I took that I did not go on the field the entire week. I had a big you can't go on the field thing until the morning of the game.
You mean your own personal superstition?
People told me because it's your first Super Bowl that you're doing. You got to wait. That Sunday I went out. It was like one of those. You can't go out. In
the same way that when we do COVID testing here every week, you've got to be the last one to test because otherwise you're going to have it.
Superstitious like that.
Got it.
So that upright that I took that picture on is the upright that Vinatieri kicks the ball to win it.
And of course, U2 and Paul McCartney.
I would change a lot of things those
days.
What would you do? I did not leave the truck for halftime because I do the halftime show.
But this is Groundhog Day, wouldn't you?
I would go to see U2 on the field, which I didn't get to see. I watched on a little monitor.
But you can go up to Bono. Like you'd go up to Bono.
On the stage and just play guitar.
I would go on the field.
You could take Edge's guitar away and start just
that's
playing.
not how Groundhog Days work. It's you'd have to do the same thing that you did that day.
Well, at some point, as you know, in the movie, Bill Murray starts driving. He's driving angry, right? I mean, at one point.
He learns how to play piano.
He stole the groundhog.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't Back to the Future. We're not changing the future.
No, this is Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. When you wake up, it's the same day again.
Then you get your life right, and at some point, you're moving on. But you get to relive it over and over again. Until then,
I smashed a really nice watch. A Breitling watch.
Oh, take your watch off.
I would take the watch off. I destroyed a Breitling. Brockman.
You could run on the field and catch a touchdown.
I would have caught Vinatieri's field goal.
You could hear Summerall going, "Who's this guy on the field?"
I don't know.
Touchdown.
Pat, maybe they should play for overtime.
Brady. I would have tried to get the first ball.
Wait a minute. It's that guy, that sound guy that always comes up to me, whose name I don't remember. Touchdown. What do you got over there, TJ? What's yours?
I thought we were talking about, sports memories. This guy's talking about watches and busting watches. And I thought we were talking about pro sports. He's talking about hitting 7 threes in a rec league game.
Wasn't rec, high school.
Okay. I mean, look, I've been fortunate enough to be alive for 4 of my team's Super Bowl wins. 3 I do remember. 1 basketball, one baseball. But if I was going to say if there's something I could go back and relive, it would be time spent with my grandfather, because that was my best friend. And we watched baseball together. And I learned how to really read by reading box scores to him from Dodger games.
Nice.
So he's the one who got me obsessed with wrestling. So I would say to go back to March 29th, 1987.
Look at that.
The Jaffa Mosque in Altoona on closed circuit TV before they had pay-per-view. Me and my grandpa went and watched Wrestlemania 3, and in front of 295,000 people in the Silver Dome, Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened in wrestling. So I would go back and just relive that moment with my grandpa, because that was awesome.
In the Silver Dome?
Yeah, that's where it was.
Silver
Dome. 90,000 people.
Well, I mean, the attendance varies anywhere from 90,000 to like 150,000, depending on.
Sure,
I just said 220,000.
Remember, they used to have
people.
that curtain, like probably the largest curtain ever.
Right.
To curtain off half the stadium, probably for Wrestlemania.
Yeah, that curtain wasn't there that day. But
not that day.
But for me, it was just like me and my grandpa to share those, to go back and just watching a baseball game with him, or watching basketball with him. And he's a guy who he'd predict things. We were watching the Buster Douglas Mike Tyson fight. He called in the 4th round that Mike Tyson was going to lose the fight. And I'll never forget it. I was like, are you out of your mind? Mike Tyson can't lose. And he lost. He predicts stuff. So I don't know. But going back at that moment would be pretty dope.
I like it. Well, my moment does involve the state of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, if I could choose a sports moment to live over and over and over again, the day it would be the day Michigan beat your Seton Hall Pirates.
I was there.
Okay. It would be the day that Glenn Rice, shot the lights out. He was the most outstanding player of the tournament. Ramil Robinson made the free throws. And the reason why, first of all, I'd be back in college.
I was about to say, you were there.
Number
right?
one, I was in college. Well, that night, I watched the game with my fraternity brothers in my fraternity, but earlier in the day, I had drawn the short straw at the Michigan Daily, the greatest student publication in the history of higher learning. I was part of the sports editor group that wasn't at the game, and I drew the short straw of locking the newspaper up. So I had to take in the copy from Seattle, edit it, and make sure that the newspaper locked. So I was running to there as everyone else was running to the center of campus to celebrate. I was like a salmon going upstream, and I wasn't, drinking at the fraternity house like the rest of my fraternity brothers.
But you had 1 or 2, I bet.
I don't know. I mean, I had a job to do, and so I would go back, and if I had to relive it over and over again, I would get bombed. Okay, one time I would totally screw the newspaper and just go to the center just to see what the celebration was like. Another time I get bombed, I'd probably find that one girl I was too afraid to ask out, just to help. You know what I mean? Just go for it, and just go for it. Since I was, another time I'd probably rip out one of those parking meters and throw it, like everyone else was doing that night. Oh yeah. I'd go back to college and just keep reliving that night over and over and over again.
Yeah,
that was my first taste of winning in a big championship in college. I'm still.
How long did it take you to finish work before you could then go join the celebration?
It was over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They didn't party all night?
TJ, it was on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So the game didn't end till midnight. Yeah. And then the copy would come in after the press. I think I got home at 3 in the morning that night.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was back in the day when they had to set the type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And run the press.
Run the press.
And that smell.
But I would relive that just so I could be back in college. I'd go say hello to Desmond when he was a freshman. I mean, I'd live my best life back in college one more day, over and over and over again.
Do you think we need one more?
Thank you.
All right, we'll get one.
All right, here's one more. Mike, I know yours was very heartfelt.
Yes.
But here it is. This is, I think, collectively, this is the day we prefer to all live together, just to see if this is true or not. Go up there on the screen. It's the day that Mike Del Tufo invented the K-Corner, April 19th, 1984. We would want to go there just to see
Mike Del Tufo,
if you are telling us the truth.
I showed you the article from the New York Times. You showed us the New
York Times did quote you as saying that you were in charge of the K-Corner, but you didn't create it.
No, I told you I never created it. These other guys.
Yeah, the other guys left, and Mike was still there.
So I would go there just to tell these guys, don't leave. The New York Times is about to get here.
There's a reporter parking his car right now.
You're the one who's been bringing these backward Ks for Dwight Gooden starts.
Don't leave.
Don't leave.
Mohawk's gonna take credit for your K-Corner.
You've been schlepping here to Queens on the 7 train with your backward Ks and your frontward Ks against the Phillies, against the Padres. The Times is about to come and do a story on you, and you're leaving, and you're going to let this jamoke from New Jersey take the credit.
I would have gone in the outfield and caught Gary Carter's winning home run.
There you go.
At the end of the game.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I might have done different things now that my mind is now racing.
See, there you go. All right.
You know.
Okay.
I did love the Andre Hulk Hogan moment, but you're talking about going back to college?
There's still 2 hours left on the show. And you give us yours. What's your Groundhog Day moment that you'd like to relive? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.